Live from Los Angeles, this is Diamond's House of Gems. I'm your host, Diamond Tucker. And today we have a true gem with us. My friend, Paul Ferro, from Navy to actor to writer to dad to great friend. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me on, Diamond.
How do you
I
feel?
really appreciate it. I feel a little bit nervous, actually. Yeah, because we had actually been talking about doing this for a few weeks, and I was always like, yeah, okay, sure. And then like things would get in the way, and we're like, okay, that's fine. I'm perfectly fine with things getting in the way. And then today I was like, is anything getting in the way today?
No.
And you were like, no, honey, we're doing it.
We're doing it. Yes.
So, all right. So here I am. Thanks, Diamond.
Of course, thanks for coming.
For having me as your first guest. That's a big honor, especially considering the amount of amazing people that you know, and I'm really excited to see where this all goes with you.
Thank you. And you too. I'm like, you have literally, I've been staying in your house. I mean, my $30 million mansion now for 2 weeks. And I've gotten to just learn so much, and it's been such a pleasure. And you've shown me so many amazing books and teachings, and we've been reading. So yeah, I was just like, people need to hear about this stuff. And obviously I've been your biggest fan for like a decade. No, literally, I was in Philadelphia.
We've known each other for quite a while.
Yes, I messaged you when I was 17 about the acting school that I wanted to go to while I was in Philly, and you were already the star of the school, which is how I found you. So yeah, you were always super nice, and then you were so captivating on stage. Like your performance, your talent was always there, and to see you just evolve and continue to take that into now writing and creating on your own terms is amazing. So yeah, I want to talk about that from like Navy to actor to writer to dad. How do you juggle all of it?
Well, I guess I could kind of start. Let's start at the beginning here. So my actual stepfather was in the Navy. So growing up, I was used to that lifestyle, moving around every 2 years, living in a different city, different state. I never had a hometown. I was always making new friends. I think with that, you do miss out on that ability to have long-term connections with people. But I do think that in this lifetime, I've had to, the thing I've really had to learn is how to accumulate perspectives. So I do feel like I've gained a lot of different people's worldviews, and then I've kind of been able to create a worldview that's based off of the world that I've seen, which helps with things like acting for sure. But when I got out of the Navy, really it was literally a month later I moved to LA, started acting, and went to the acting corps. Rest in peace.
Oh, rest in peace.
Our wonderful acting school that we met at. And it was there that where should we go with this, actually? Because I feel like I'm kind of like,
well, first off, how did you make the transition from like Navy to like actor? That's huge.
Right. Yeah. I think acting was one of those things that when I was younger, it was a thing I was curious about doing but never actually did. I was really into storytelling. I loved a good fantasy story. I think that I didn't really have the courage to actually pursue acting in theater as a younger kid. I didn't really have the opportunities in my schools that I went to. I was much more into playing sports. That was a more comfortable field for me. But I always wanted to, and like I remember doing Hamlet, just the to be or not to be in high school, and I just totally bombed it. But I bombed it on purpose because I was afraid. I didn't want to be perceived as like a theater kid. And I look back at that, and I'm like, man, what an insecure. Like I really did want to succeed at it. So anyway, after high school, I went to the Citadel, which is a military college in South Carolina. Commissioned in the Navy after that. When you're in the Navy or in the military in general, I think that you run the risk of developing certain traits of maybe toxic masculinity.
Yes,
Maybe something
yes.
we've learned about in the past decade at least.
How did you navigate toxic masculinity?
Well,
Because you're so compassionate.
what I think what you do is, because you're in a high stress environment and because you see things that are disturbing in some instances when you're on deployment, we all develop coping mechanisms to handle trauma, to handle stress and sadness. And I think in the military sometimes that we run the risk of using unhealthy coping mechanisms, using that testosterone to transform sadness into anger, for example, or drinking. So I drank. I mean, you can't do drugs, you have drug tests, but drinking seemed to be in a way celebrated in the military. So I noticed after deploying to Somalia that afterwards I did feel a lot of sadness. Things that we were seeing, just stress in general, and I didn't have the coping mechanisms to really handle it. So I would drink, I would party, I would laugh about it, joke about it, try to make light of things in my own personal life. And I didn't have the awareness to really grasp the struggles that I was going through. And then on my next command, I was actually on a ship that was involved in the filming of the movie Captain Phillips.
Okay.
And they were looking for people that knew about the piracy mission in Somalia at the time, because Captain Phillips is a movie starring Tom Hanks about the Somali pirates that kidnapped the Maersk, Alabama. And while I was on that ship, we actually got to spend 2 weeks filming. And so I got to actually do the rescue scene at the end of the movie, and I got to spend 2 weeks with Tom Hanks and Paul Greengrass, the director, was amazing. He was such a kind person who spent time to get to know everyone on set, even all the little lowly extras. Like, it was really inspiring to be around people for your first time on a set that were genuinely nice people.
Nice. Did that do it for you? Like, was that the moment you're like, oh, I need to go?
Yeah. So I'd say after 2 weeks, and again, you're on a set, so hours are long. I'm on set 4 a.m, and you're going to bed like almost like at midnight sometimes. Wow. So you're getting like 3-4 hours sleep. But I didn't care. I was up in the morning, excited to be showing up and seeing what kind of magic they were going to do that day because of all the editing and the cutting that they were doing. It was really impressive. And we filmed off the coast of Virginia, and it was the oceans of Somalia. But yeah, they used a lot of actual Navy personnel for that film. And I just realized I'm actually excited and happy to be waking up. And before filming, I was waking up with a feeling of dread. So for the first time in my young adult life, I was like, wow, like, this is fun. And I could see myself doing something like that. And just overall a naivety of youth, maybe, just to think, forget it. Let's gear my career towards getting out of the Navy and then just moving to LA.
Wow, that's so huge. And you're great. Like, I would have never known. Just when I met you, you were already so talented, I guess, on stage. Like, when I saw you, you're already so captivating. I would have never guessed. Like, I would have assumed you had been training till the point that I met you. So that's insane to hear.
Oh, well, thanks.
Super cool. But
I always felt like, I guess I in some way I always felt self-conscious about it, though. So I think that where I talked about earlier, the accumulating of perspectives, I think that does help to be able to see the world through the lens of the character that you're playing, because I think one of the most important things as an actor is to be able to have the experiences that which you can draw from.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely helped. I think the first initial hurdle in the Navy, going from the Navy to acting, is breaking through that barrier of allowing myself to feel emotions that I had maybe repressed.
How long did that take?
So you remember the acting corps, how you had the BC1 and the BC2. The BC1 and BC2 is like boot camp.
Yeah.
So you have 5 days a week, a whole day for 3 months essentially. And it was some of the most fun time we ever had.
I loved it.
Out of all of the acting schools in Los Angeles, that was the one school where it really brought people from all over the world,
Literally.
and brought them together and became a close-knit, like, group,
family.
like it was like a little college group,
It
you
was,
know.
yeah.
And no other school really had that, in my opinion, from other ones that I had been to, where it's always that formality. Hey, I'm here in school with these people, and then bye-bye.
Yeah.
And then the acting corps was, we're hanging out after every day.
Yes,
Every
yes.
day.
We lived together.
Yeah, you guys.
We
yeah.
lived together.
Yeah. So it was about 2 months into taking acting classes, like 5 days a week, where we finally did one of those exercises. And it was, so the acting corps, we do Michael Chekhov, and then we also do Stanford Meisner, and then we do a bunch of other stuff like scene study and stuff. But Meisner technique, the repetition, and then the psychophysical aspect of Michael Chekhov. So we're doing kind of a blend where it's a repetition with somebody, but we're also adding in the getting this energy into your body.
Yes.
So I'm doing a scene where I'm trying to get a girl to love me, and her whole objective is to tell me to go away. And so, of course, when you're a man in an environment where culturally you have these kind of built up ideas of masculinity that are clearly wrong, but what is the defense mechanism that kicks in when you're in your 20s and you're getting rejection? First it was like playing it off, like I'm like, love me, and she's like, go away. And then at first it's like, well, whatever, I don't care. Ha ha ha. I'm gonna joke about this, use humor as a coping mechanism. And then she's still saying no. So then I'm noticing there's change in me, and it's like anger, frustration. Why doesn't this person love me? And so what is the underlying thing behind anger? It's sadness. Yeah. And so I remember there was like a little fork in the road in my brain. It was my brain basically in that split second said, you can either do what you've always done in life, which is just brush this off and pretend like it's not a thing, or you can go down this side, which is feel the feeling, feel the sadness. And I just said, you know what, I'm in a safe environment. These people are my what are
we were your family.
Yeah, community, my true community. And so I was like, just let's see where this goes. And so I just remember it broke me. I said, love me, and she said, go away. And I just said, like a 5-year-old inside me said, why don't you love me? And it cracked, and just the tears, man, the tears.
They get you there.
Yeah. So I was crying my eyes out. I was storming around. I was just like in a state, and then just like, and then after that, wow, you look in the room, and when you're going through something genuine, that was real. The scene was imaginary. The feelings were real. Everyone looked a bit surprised, to say the least. So there were some teary eyes. There were some people really surprised because, after doing 2 months of developing a technique, I could do the soap opera version. Oh, you don't love me. I'm so sad. You got to get through that because you got the technique down. Got it. Okay, that's technically good. Be genuine. Be honest, Paul. Be honest. Finally broke through, and then it was genuinely like the biggest weight off, a liberating feeling of I am now in tune with my feminine and masculine energy in a new way that I had never been in my entire life, and I am bringing things into harmony. That does not happen overnight, because the next thing that happens is now I have the faucet is going off at random times. So I could be literally like random thing over here. I see I can't even think of an example, but like something over here, somebody says something to somebody, and immediately like, and they're like, are you okay? I'm like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know what's going on. And so, it opened up. So then the next step was like, okay, how do you have a healthy relationship with your emotions now that the floodgate is open? And so I did not have any spiritual practices or belief system to allow me to have a healthy relationship. And so coping mechanisms turned into things like going back to drinking, partying,
yes, that's right,
unhealthy relationships, finding ways to cope with sadness, and then it kind of fell apart because I was raised Catholic. That obviously in a lot of circles fills you with a level of shame and guilt. And institutional religion, in my opinion, does a lot of harm for a lot of people. So it wasn't my thing. I think in my 20s, I started realizing that I don't trust these authority figures that are saying that they know the truth. And so I rebelled against spirituality and religion in a big way. And so when I do things, I do things pretty much in a big way. Like I'm not going to just do things half-hearted.
No same.
So I rebelled against it. I became atheist. And I became
That big.
Scientific mind.
Oh, that
if you
big.
can't prove it to me, it doesn't exist. You need to be able to have mathematical, quantifiable data.
Okay.
Data.
Wow.
Which is a dangerous thing. But at the same time, in some ways, a necessary stepping stone towards our evolution to go through the stage of materialism and also the stage of scientific thought, to not allow yourself to just give in to whatever anybody says. Like, oh, I believe in this pink elephant in the sky. Oh, I'll believe it too. Like, no, like let's have a healthy outlook on skepticism. But I did not have a healthy outlook on
The
all of
pendulum
this.
swung.
Yeah, and then when I became atheist, we're talking about like laying in bed at night, pondering an eternity of nothingness.
Oh.
And just so I would drink whiskey because this will put me to sleep. Because I would have these fearful moments and
that's what I only know spiritual Paul. Like
right.
I only know like spiritual, like aware Paul. So I can't even. I didn't meet you when you were atheist, did I?
You might have. You might have. I didn't. Obviously I didn't feel like opening up about this. I didn't really share this with people. I always believed in compassion. I always wanted to prove that, like regardless of anybody's religion or if you're atheist, that it's more important to be kind to people than it is to just be selfishly after your own crap or to hurt people. Yeah. Now, I was in fact in ways very selfish. I tried not to hurt people, but people would get hurt in the sense that I'm after my own self-preservation. And there's a lot of like
that's awareness.
Yeah, there is a lot that I've had to work on with that.
And you have.
And so this stage of my life did not last forever, fortunately. Just like I've accumulated perspectives growing up, I had to accumulate the perspective of materialism and of atheism. I had to experience it because now that I am more spiritual, I have a lot of empathy for people that are atheists because they have not had any form of revelation of the spirit, and which is very unfortunate that they're in that situation. So I'm very aware of when I'm saying something about spirituality, because there is that voice that would be like, yeah, but you're gonna lose the audience of some people. I want to, in some way, shape, or form in my life, show people that are going through that there is much more to the universe that is perceivable by our senses, by our sense of sight, hearing, touch. There is so much more to the universe. In fact, the vastness of consciousness is much more than anything that we have the instruments to measure right now.
So you wouldn't separate spirituality from like the physical world, more of like it's an extension of it. It's like magnetism. Yeah. Like we can't see it, but it still exists.
Absolutely. In fact,
it's just as real.
Wolfgang von Goethe. He I don't want to throw out these obscure old names from a long time.
Give us references.
Because it sounds pretentious, but at the same time, what he says is everything that is physical is but a symbol. So the physical universe is in a constant state of change, but the eternal is the spiritual. And the spiritual manifests as these physical things. But this table seems pretty solid. It's not going to be here forever. It's going to dissolve back into different component parts. The entire universe itself will dissolve. But at the same time, you want to have a healthy, balanced relationship between it. So I'm not sitting here going, I'm all spiritual now. I deny all things material. Because the material world is a gift for us to it's a classroom for us to learn and grow. and I believe in reincarnation. So we're here to learn and grow over multiple lifetimes.
You were talking to me about reincarnation, which I think is a wild concept, which we will touch into.
Yes.
What I do want to know is your transition into parenthood, which we talked about the acting corps being a family, and then you made a family from that family.
Mm-hmm.
Like
oh my God, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So how has that been? I mean, I love you. I love Stacy, and now you have Nixie and Neo, which two beautiful souls, boy and girl.
Yeah.
How is it just like that transition of like, I knew you as a friend, and
Yeah.
now I know you as a friend slash dad, which is so cool to see.
Yeah, there are definitely these transitions of your life, and you do seem to unfold at certain ages. And I know that, like, if you talk to me in my 20s, very different, late 20s, very different. And then around the age of 33, it's a very special number. Stacy, my partner, and I, we met in the acting corps years ago. And we were just friends.
I know, we all were.
Just friends.
We were all just friends.
Just friends. And actually, there was this is one of those interesting things where it's like, what pulls us together? What pulled us together? Because while I was going through some of my worst struggles, my mental health issues and trauma with my own all the muck that was going on in my head, there was like almost like a voice telling me, there was like something was telling me, you need to reach out to Stacy. So I would like call her up, and this was after like, you know, a few years, and I was just like, Stacy, like, I feel like dying. I feel like dying. I don't want to be alive anymore.
That's so real.
And
so real.
And she's the one that actually got me to, you know, like, maybe you should go to the VA and get therapy. So she actually drove me to the VA to get therapy.
That's love.
And so that was, right. You know, it was probably easier for her as we were just friends, that she's like, oh, this crazy guy over here, I could just handle his problems just a little bit. But then, you know, like, as we got closer, the universe brought us together, and I'd say like almost like, you know, here in the West, we have an idea of love where two people meet, they get to know each other, they fall in love, they get married, then they have kids. That sounds like a perfect picture. I found that the universe kind of brought Stacy and I together, and then we ended up conceiving a child together that was not planned. But I think that deep down inside both of us, and we're both the same age, we're both 37, 38 now, so we were around 33 at the time, both of us, whether I was not even aware of it at the time, but I am aware of it now, that like, I wanted love, and I wanted a family, and I wanted all those things that I had just like been lacking in some form. And the universe was like, well, here's your arranged marriage. You're gonna have to figure this out together, because you both want to be with your kids, you both want to be there for them 24/7 and be beacons of love for their development.
And you guys are.
And that's, I think, one of the greatest life lessons in classrooms I am in and have, is learning how to have a healthy, loving relationship with Stacy, and learning how to have a healthy relationship with my children. And I said earlier, my stepdad raised me. It's because my biological father, he had his own life struggles that he had to go through. And fortunately, he passed away a couple of years ago, but we actually were very close for those last, you know, like few years. We had a very great relationship, and I miss him dearly. But unfortunately, he did not have things together when I was young. So my mom remarried, thankfully, because my stepdad is an amazing, wonderful man. They are meant to be together. But my own father had his hardships that he had to get through. And I knew that I needed to break that cycle for my own kids. And so my journey for sobriety and everything else started at the time that Stacy got pregnant, which is around the time that, okay, so you want to get sober. A lot of people want to get sober. How do you do it?
Don't we all?
Right?
We all want to get sober.
Hey, you're doing great. We're
Thank
doing
you.
great.
What are you talking about? I'm always sober.
So so when you want to get sober but you don't know how to get sober, it's scary. It's scary because here you have somebody that you care about is pregnant and you're trying to get your things together, but like addiction and pain and suffering is just kind of like, it's kind of what you're used to. And so this is when around the time where, you pray to the universe for some form of answers. And I do think that I was one of the fortunate ones that received guidance from the universe. And there were several miraculous things that began to happen that broke my atheist mind. Because I mean, if you were to take it from the perspective of an atheist, it was, okay, certain phenomena are happening that were very personal to me. Mm-hmm. What are the mathematical probabilities that could have happened? When you start to see the mathematical probabilities kind of break down into the trillions, mm-hmm. you have a better chance of winning the lottery multiple times in a row than certain things that happened in my life to happen. And then I realized there's something more intelligent here working out.
The universe definitely does help you get sober. And I feel like when you really find out that you want it, that's when things kind of start to align and puts you in a position or circumstance that kind of forces you to. For me, it was my voice. I was losing my voice, and that's my most prized possession as a singer. Mm-hmm. So I definitely can relate with you on that. I want to know, like, when Neo and Nixie, and there's so many different pieces to it. Did we move the, there's so many pieces of them around. I thought her pony was behind me still.
No, it's we moved it.
Just watching them grow and develop and seeing how you guys are aiding in their spiritual development. You just literally had an interview with a ward of school. That's insane. Like, to start her off there will definitely put her leaps and bounds ahead of so many other kids that will have no awareness, going through the regular public school system. Mm-hmm. What is it that when they watch this, you want them to know?
Okay, so this is heavy. Because I think that this ties into my biggest fear in life right now. And I try not to live with fear, because when I began my spiritual journey, again, part 2 coming soon, I came face to face with the reality for me personally that death is not something to be feared. It's just a transition. It's walking from one door to the next door, and then you'll come back in the room at another time.
We're gonna get into that.
Yeah. So I'm actually that fear has dissolved. I have a peace. I believe in the teachings of the Buddha. I believe in the teachings of Christ. So Christ is in me. Buddha is a great teacher as well. But my fear, if I really looked inwardly right now, is if I were to die right now, mm-hmm. would my kids truly know how much I love them? Wow. So, because, they're almost 5 and 2, so, they're very young right now. Mm-hmm. So I hope that they remember these accumulated wonderful times that we have together, and I love playing with them, and I love exploring the world with them, and we go to the Huntington Botanical Garden and I just let them frolic in a meadow of flowers, and that to me is my heaven. So I'd love for them to remember that, but realistically, will they be able to remember that when they're 20? And if something were to happen to me, God forbid, if it does happen, then in the back of their mind they always have to be wondering, like, what was my dad like? I don't know. So I think that having something like this, a document for them to then behold someday if something were to happen, I would want them to know that no matter what happens in your life, no matter what you turn out to be, unconditionally, I love you regardless of anything you could ever do, say, or be. I love you. I love you. You are of infinite, precious value to the entire universe. You are here and you are special, and you mean everything to me.
That's so sweet.
So literally,
Take it
that's
out.
like, if I could just say that every day, I would. I don't want to be a corny dad around it, but
No,
I want
sometimes
to
you
make
gotta be a
sure,
corny dad.
you know, yeah. So I want them to feel that every day.
Yeah.
That there's literally nothing that they need to do to earn that. They are just it. They are pure love to me. I have learned so much through them. They are my teachers. Stacy is my teacher. I am so grateful for them, and
So
they're the reason for everything. So I think when I started my sobriety journey, I had to cut out old habits. I had to replace them with healthy habits. Some of the things that helped me get sober, and this is for anybody out there that's looking into sobriety, my own journey is my own. Everyone's got their own journey to take. You know, I'm not saying that
That's
there's one
true.
shoe fits all.
No.
You know, there's a spark and fire in each one of us, and you know, I'm not here to enkindle the fire in you through, like, by saying it's the same as mine. We're all unique, special individuals.
That's true.
So, but I would say my journey, the things that helped, or I deleted all my social media. I deleted all of my connection with this materialistic superficiality, in my opinion.
Fair.
So it's a double-edged sword, because
Welcome back.
I'm here. Yeah, this is why I'm so nervous is this is my first time doing something on camera in a very long time, and this is my first time actually being out there for people to see. Because I think when you come to LA and you're here to be somebody, you come here for somebody training. You're forged in a fire in LA. This is the most intense place to try to come to be somebody, because you can be somebody in a small town.
Tell them.
But
them
here,
know.
this is the hardest place to be somebody.
Thank you.
I mean, here in
Girls
New York,
have no
man,
idea.
yeah. And I find that now that I'm a parent and I'm on a different path, I'm in nobody training. I am trying to actually reverse a lot of this, which is going to be very different than probably what's the normal route in LA, because when I deleted my social media, I really wanted to just make my world small. The whole world doesn't need to be up in my business.
Fair.
I don't care anymore. I don't care about other people's business, in the sense that I love genuine connection from the heart.
Yes.
The whole personas and stuff, I don't have an interest in it anymore. It's
fair.
exhausting to me. So so follow my nothing. I'm sorry.
I was like, plug yourself in.
I've got nothing for you, and I'm
Not
perfectly happy with that. I feel good right now, and I would not trade my mental health for any of that. But anyway, so deleting that was a big thing. Incorporating spiritual practices. My spiritual teacher is a man named Rudolf Steiner, who is a German spiritual teacher.
You put me
amongst
on.
many other things. Yeah,
You put me on.
he passed away 100 years ago, almost literally. And again, everyone's got their own path. He resonates the most with me because he takes my very questioning intellectual brain and is able to break down very complex spiritual concepts in a way that I can grasp. And he gets rid of the wishy-washiness that I find a lot of the surface level stuff on the internet. So far he's got over 350 books, and I've gotten through maybe 60 of them at this point, just in the past like 4 years or so. And it's one of those things where, okay, if I'm feeling a negative feeling, a reaction, and what was my old coping mechanism? Drink, or negative thoughts, or harm, like thing that's going to cause harm to me. Replace it. So pull open his books. I listened to a lot of his audiobooks. Somebody took the effort to record like so many of them. It's amazing that this person took this task on. But anyway, so when I'm doing that, I'm changing something in one of my bodies. And again, we'll talk about the physical, etheric, astral body in another one.
But I experienced what you were talking about when I listened to him on the drive home.
Yeah.
There was a piece that kind of just washed over me and I have ADHD. I'm not good with like listening to something without my mind wandering, but he like reined me in spiritually and like put me at peace from the 30-minute drive home from Marina Del Rey to here to bed to sleep. And that's not usually, it's usually like a lot of chaotic thoughts.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What about tomorrow and what am I doing? And it was just like, no, we're here right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm so grateful that you put me onto him. He's definitely helped me a lot. And just in the last 2 weeks of staying here with you, I feel like my awareness has definitely expanded on like my intentions, my karma, and how like circumstances that I didn't understand, like why I had to go through, why I was going through them. I think you definitely have expanded my perspective on like how to look at something, especially shifting from the lens of suffering to gratitude, and how something is always teaching you even if you don't see it. So I just want to say thank you for that, because it's definitely helped so much.
Great.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I've seen it in you too, because I mean it, and I know it hasn't been easy for you. Like
That's breaking down.
Yes, we need the next podcast. I'll interview you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my. Okay.
If you want that, we can definitely do that.
We'll figure it out.
Turn the camera that way. Yeah.
The House of Gems is about the other gems.
Yeah, and I appreciate you doing that, because it's getting me out of my shell, which is making me feel good right now.
I'm so honored that you're doing this. I was like, you guys don't understand. I get so much wisdom from him on a daily since I've been here, and just on a usual daily basis. Like with the conversations we have, I was like, people need to hear this. I feel like I am definitely blessed to have met so many great people here that I'm like, people need to hear this private conversation, because I felt like it could do so many people so much good. Just knowing who you are as a person, how you carry yourself as a man. I give you so much respect, and I told you one of the biggest things that I respect you for is I feel so comfortable in myself around you. I don't feel like I need to adjust to meet you at a certain point of masculinity. I feel like you're so free in yourself and your expression of masculinity, and it allows other people to be free and comfortable in themselves. And I can tell that the spiritual practice of just like non-judgment and self-love and self-acceptance really does pour out of you. And that's why I feel like I'm certainly drawn to you, and so many people I'm sure like certainly drawn to that very personal, very loving energy. So continue to shine that light out into the world, and your kids are blessed, to have something I didn't have. No shade. But an amazing dad like you to leave them something like this, and not even leave them, but to give this to them every single day. I hear you on the phone with them every day. I remember you said you're not talking to them major day, just like a little bit down. Like I feel like they know. They might not comprehend, but they know how much you love them. You and Stacy are spiritual, wonderful, like just amazing parents. And yes, it's been an honor getting to spend time with you guys. Yeah.
Thanks, Diamond.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're the greatest. You're the greatest.
Stop.
Yeah, it's interesting seeing Stacy's spiritual development as well, because in so many ways we're both on this path together. But she has a different constitution when it comes to like if I were to start talking about like the Rudolf Steiner stuff, it's like, okay, Paul, I don't need to know about the details of the Council of Constantinople. Okay,
She's very blunt. She's English.
Yeah, but she resonates in the feeling center. I had more of an intellectual grasp for a while. So her religion is love, and in many ways that's the deepest truth right there. If there's genuine love there, then there is the truth. Me and my own journey, like I can spend all day analyzing that stuff because it brings me like this fun little level, and then there is an aspect of it that I would like to incorporate it into storytelling. So
which you're working on right now. You're writing.
I mean, who knows how long and where it's going to go and how. But I think so. I think what happened with the acting career is, many of you out there will know as a artist here in LA, as an actor, if you don't have the parents that have the connections or the money to fund it, this is a very hard thing. And I feel for people coming here now, because there are, in my mind, 2 chapters to LA from when I first got here around 2015 till COVID. 2015 to COVID, there was a sense of optimism in the air. There was a lot of filming opportunities. Yes. There was an affordable rent to an extent. So you could get a job and be able to pay your bill and then still have a little bit of free time to focus on your craft.
Staying in Paul's living room right now.
And then COVID happened, and that's around the time that Stacy got pregnant with Nixie, our daughter, and so we had to look in the mirror and go like, what are we gonna do? Because at the time, we were all like living in a little commune here in North Hollywood,
yes,
which was super fun.
It
Super
was.
fun when you got no responsibility, like other
Very
than your
much.
own self.
Yes.
But when you are like, oh my god, I'm about to be a parent, and we don't have any savings or anything, there's a sense of holy crap, like we are starting from scratch. And at this stage, what I would recommend to people if they want to have kids, have a house first, or at least have like the savings and the plan.
Fair.
Because we literally started from scratch.
But I mean, like,
and we're getting there. We're working hard to
I
get
love it.
to get up. But I think when COVID happened and then everything locked down, we went to England because that's where Stacey's family is, and I love her family so much, and it's so wonderful to be there. We spent like months there, like 6-7 months or something like that. So we got to be there for the birth of Nixie. Yeah. And then it was like the feeling of, okay, we're here now. We going back to LA? Yeah. So we came back. And when we came back, it was like that feeling for me was, okay, I still have my ego attached to this acting thing, so I want to try it. The opportunity did not quite get back because then the next thing that happened was the strikes.
Yes.
And
literally.
the strikes put on hold at least for a year. So we were like, okay, well, me personally, I was getting into my private security work because that was an easy thing to go from the military to this private security work. So I was just doing that on the side, and then that became full time because I was like, okay, I need to be able to provide for a family. I can't just be a starving artist. Mm-hmm. Being a starving artist is commendable, and I respect people that are doing it, and like go shoot for your dreams. But then when you have mouths to feed, there is an urgency.
Yes.
And I don't have the connections. And again, I deleted all my social media, which is the double-edged sword because now I don't have that ability to network that way. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, again, I said earlier, I'm not going to trade my mental health for it.
Yes.
So, we were like, Stacey and I were looking at, we're like, okay, should we do it one more year? And then that year, there was not a single audition. And so then when the strike ended, it was like, okay, finally. And then we looked at it and we're like, okay, there's really not much. And then many of you out there will know what I'm talking about. Vertical streaming content.
Oh my
gosh.
The
vertical soap operas.
Right now?
Those vertical streaming things.
Disrespectful to acting.
I'm not here. I never want to criticize.
I'm here to criticize and shame. I don't think it's cute.
The writing the writing belittles humanity in my opinion. Like if I were to really break it down, it belittles the simple act of being a human. So because we came here to be actors to create art that people are going to be moved by and inspired by, to uplift the soul to a higher plane. Yes. Some of us, not all, some of us, whatever we want to do. Everyone's got their own journey. If you want to be a reality show, no. We're all here to learn and grow. It's a classroom, not a courtroom. This world is a classroom, not a courtroom.
This is Diamond's House of Jones is a courtroom.
So I was getting these auditions and I'm reading the script and I'm like, I don't want my kids to see this. Like it was like, this is dumb. It was like this is another level. Like it wasn't like this before COVID, and this is now a growing, because this is one of the few profitable streaming services out there actually. So it's a lucrative deal for these I'm not going to name any of their names, but many of you in LA right now will know that this is on Actors Access a lot. And so I really had that moment of I did a few of them, and it leaves you with this empty feeling because okay, what if I make $300 a day doing that? Whatever. I'm still not going to buy you a house someday. You're not going to have a backyard. I want a chicken coop. I want to have like a plot of land for my kids to like be able to flourish. And this just doesn't seem like it's going to happen here. So I think at some level, what I've realized is as I've taken a step away, I've cleared myself of trying to run on the treadmill in the rat race here. I like being a ghost right now. I like that I can just go out with my family and no one will recognize me. That actually feels good. So I do think that our time in LA is coming to an end. Damn. We are figuring out where, Spain, England, Virginia. There's so many options that we're Stacey and I are talking about, but yeah, the idea of a beach house in Spain does sound really good, though.
I think I would love that for you, so I could also come.
So we'll look at this video in 10 years and see where this went. So, but the thing is, I do get a sense inside me that there is an aspect where there are stories I'd like to tell, and so you just got to write them, and then come back to LA with a script that is something meaningful, because the things that I've been reading for are not meaningful in the sense that, like, it's not going to uplift the soul to a higher plane.
Yeah.
And I want to uplift all, like, we're in a very stressful, uncertain, confused, and divided world.
Yes.
So we need stories that are going to heal rather than just like the jaggedness of harshness of what you see out there. So anyway, so I would like to tell stories and come back with something rather than me being the actor who's desperately going, please hire me for your project.
Yeah. I think that's why we're here. That's how we got here.
Yeah.
I think we all got tired of waiting, and we were like, hey, we're just going to do it and make it and create whatever change we want to see. We're going to do it ourselves. And I think on that note, to end this amazing podcast.
Well, first, before that, I want to know for you, because I've been talking about myself.
Well, we're here to interview Paul.
I know, but for you, like, okay, so just real quick, and then we'll close that. Okay. I want to know, like, gosh, like, I'm inspired by how creative you are and your music, going from acting to music, and then still being an amazing actor too. So, like, where is your fire coming from when it comes to your creative juices going? Like, because you don't have to go away and come back. You're thriving in LA. I feel like my time in LA is no, like I don't want to raise my kids there. But you, like, you're making it. You're like a flower in blooming in the concrete. It's impressive. So, like, where's your inspiration come from?
My inspiration is coming from so many different places. I think, like, this like conversations that I'm having. I think I'm so inspired by my friends, and just like a lot of the music I listen to. I think there's a tiredness of waiting. I think there's I've done my studying has been on fame and understanding, like, creating an impact and giving yourself the light. And right now my work is cultivating the light for myself instead of, as we've talked about, waiting our whole lives for somebody to give it to us. I've been deprogramming myself on the idea that I had to wait for a label or a casting director or somebody to tell me that I was worth it or that I had the talent. And once I kind of just started giving myself the validation of being like, no, our voices matter now. We can do it. We have so much to say and so much worth now, not when somebody tells us. And I think that on a daily basis, and seeing the evidence of that through our conversations and through my daily interactions with people, and seeing how my friends impact the world around me, seeing how I impact people on my day-to-day, seeing the evidence of that impact, and cultivating my social medias and seeing the evidence of that impact gives me the fire. This is fueling. You very much poured gasoline. This whole thing is gasoline on that fire of, like, I'm so excited we did this. This actually turned out so well. I can't wait to clip this together. And once this is out into the world, that makes my fire from here where we started to, oh wow, we can do that. Cool. Let's keep doing that. Let's keep making more. I love creating. I think I've always loved creating outside of monetary purposes. And the more the evidence of the value of that creation is shown to me, the more I create. So yeah. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks, Diamond.
Staying here has definitely given me a fire. You know, staying here has definitely, the last 2 weeks I've been here, and every day I wake up. First off, my dreams are insane. I don't know what's going on in the energy.
Crystals.
Dude, my dreams, I dreamed about, I was giving the girls synthetic, like, DMs. It was crazy. I was in a classroom in the future. But yeah, it's been great just being here and being around other creatives. And I feel like we feed each other. So I'm getting a lot of inspiration.
Take a double terminated quartz crystal, put it above your head before you go to sleep tonight. Let me know in the
No,
comments.
don't give the girls the secrets yet.
Let me know in the
for
comments
episode
if you
2.
notice anything different in this. But yes, we will have a second
We will.
a second interview where we will get into the esoteric teachings of all over Tibetan
Yes.
Buddhism, esoteric Christianity,
Yes.
everything. So
So stay tuned for that.
yeah, and in the meantime,
Watch this.
yeah,
Ponder on this. Let this sink in. Paul, thank you so much. This was a dream of mine. Like doing you gave like my first episode like the greatest background, the greatest energy, just like a great conversation. Thank you so much for just being willing and just like opening yourself up to this. It means so much, and you are amazing. And thank you for being a gem.
yeah. Thanks, Simon.
Keep being a light, buddy.
Mhm.
You are
You too.
amazing.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I'm
You've
proud
grown
of
so
us.
much.
What? I mean,
You were a wee little lad when I first met you. Now you're a grown man.
stop. I still feel like a wee little lad. I'm like, I still have to pay for car insurance and stuff.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
no, you guys are amazing, and I'm proud of you as well. You and Stacy and Nixie and Neo. Beautiful family, beautiful place. And yeah, just keep doing what you guys are doing. And that concludes our first ever episode of Diamond's House of Jams. Come back next week for our next episode where we talk about the spiritual, esoteric teachings of Rudolf Steiner and so many more. Thank you. Stay well. Stay healthy. Drink green juice. You can just look out into the distance. Ooh. Ah? Ooh.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no.